We'll discuss race and how it plays a factor, and how we didn't even talk about this topic because we were afraid.
A Black Executive Perspective.
Welcome to a Black Executive Perspective podcast, safe space where we discuss all matters regarding race, culture, and definitely those uncomfortable topics people tend to avoid. I'm your host, Tony Tidbit.
And I'm your co-host, Chris P. Reed, and we're here to tackle the real and the raw and often uncomfortable truths shaping our world. No fluff, no filters, just bold conversations on issues that matter. From power to politics, culture to corporate America, we're breaking it all down live with you without holding anything back. So let's get into it.
Buddy, let's get into it. Look, man, I know you're down in Dallas, right? And I'm in Connecticut. And I'm pretty sure your television worked. Last, what was it, Thursday, Friday? When did Putin and Trump meet? Was it last Thursday, Friday? What day was that?
Yeah, I
think wasn't a meeting, right? Wasn't a meeting, right? So I want to get your thoughts on that, right? Because obviously that was the big thing. I mean, look, there's 1,000 other things that's going on, but that was the big thing last week. And I have some serious thoughts about it, right? But I love to hear you. Why don't you kick us off and tell us what you think?
So my thought is I am considering the level of distraction, purposeful distraction that is being elicited by this administration. And one of the things that you hear from the MAGAs and the conservative folks, the rights, is that we were supposed to be laser focusing on making America great again, America first. And so involving ourselves in other international things that may not necessarily affect us, or think about it. We send Russia transportation and vaccines. Other than that, we don't do no business with Russia.
We don't do no business with them. We don't do no business.
We don't do no business. So
we do
the
no
idea
business.
of just wanting to be in photo ops with a dictator is all that this is really boiling down to. It's a fanboy move. And so my thing is, we have so much going on here on American soil domestically that the people are clamoring for. And we're not going to, adjudicate that on this episode. But the fact is, this was a nothing burger. This was a situation where you went over and you had him come to your spot in Alaska, your cabin, and you made it seem as if you was going to puff your chest and give him what for, wag your finger and give him what for. And everything that I've seen since is that was the opposite of what happened, and that it absolutely wasn't as detailed prior to whatever was going on. Because if you recall, before during the campaign for Trump, it was, when I get in office, when you elect me, this is going to stop in 2 days. This is going to stop in 12 minutes. All that posturing and pompous, bravado. And now we 7 months in, 8 months in, whatever it is. And we are I hate to repeat this, but you hear it too frequently. We are the laughing stock. And it's a situation where internationally our reputation and the economics are showing that. If you just look at Vegas and other places that are tourists, that other countries are really like hands off because we've become volatile and erratic as a nation. And so I don't know what the hell this was, Tony. I'm just, from your perspective, and you're plugged in and you talk to people who have these type of mindsets, political mindsets, what was the intention and how the hell did we miss, the mark so badly?
Buddy, so here's the thing, bro. You spoke a little bit about it, right? Just backing up, I can solve this in a couple of days. I can solve this, which we know is all BS, right? But, his people believe that, right? He's Superman. He can do it. He can walk on water. He can do all that, right? So anybody with a brain would recognize that wasn't going to happen, okay? But all that being said, right? Here's the one thing I will say, all right? And you may disagree with me, okay? So the one thing I didn't vote for the man. I don't like the man. I don't have anything to do with the man, right? But I will give him credit that he's at least trying to make something happen, okay? Even though we all knew that it wasn't going to be him just showing up and everybody just falling on their sword, or, just placating, or just saying, all right, President Trump, we'll do whatever you say. We knew that was going to happen. Here's where it makes no sense, okay? So think about it for a second. Let's just be clear here. at the end of the day, when you are going to have a summit with somebody supposed to be your equal, and you want them to come to make a deal, okay, you would at least have it vetted that at some point they're going to agree to the deal, or you wouldn't have them come. All right, think about that for a second. Why would you do that if you don't have no inkling that this person is going to agree to what you want? Why would you bring him in? It's like, we were talking about this before. It's like Ulysses S. Grant, okay, in Appomattox when they did the official surrender of the South. All right, and then General Lee came to surrender, and then everybody's looking, and then Ulysses S. Grant says, "Okay, General Lee, the South surrenders," and General Lee looks at him like, I ain't surrendering. What are you talking about? All right. So none of this was vetted. None of it. Okay. So, which makes no sense on that level. Why would you bring somebody all the way out here? You have no idea in terms of what they're going to say. Okay, that makes no sense. Immediately, who's the envoy? What information? Why doesn't your intelligent people, your ambassadors, know what this dude is going to say? Oh, it seemed like, they say, hey man, you want to meet? And they're like, yeah, I'll meet with you. All right. But at the end of the day, nothing was done. Number two, here's the other thing. You come out, this dude has been isolated in Russia. He's war criminal, whole 9 yards. He can't even fly over certain airspace where he could be detained. Okay. He gets a chance to come all the way out here for the U.S., the superpower. Okay. Red carpet, B-52 bombers, trumpets, the whole 9 yards. Okay. Gets in the beast, the limousine, rides with you. And you get nothing out of it. He gets everything. And here's the kicker. This is the thing that we've always been saying, is that at the end of the day, you can play Trump because all you need to do is flatter him. Okay. So let me ask you this question. Let's just be clear here. What was the meeting about? What was the meeting supposed to be about?
It's supposed to be about ceasefire.
Ceasefire between who?
Ukraine and Russia.
Ukraine and Russia, right? So this dude came all the way over here, parade, whole 9 yards. He's supposed to sit down, and they're supposed to be talking about a ceasefire, right? Here's the thing. Why is Putin talking about the 2020 election? Why is Putin saying, had you been elected, we wouldn't have went to war? What has that got to do with this? Oh, he's playing him. I mean, buddy, it's the classic thing. All you got to do is flatter this dude. You get him off his game. Okay, that's it. All right. So he had to come all the way here. To be honest, that's what he got out the meeting. He didn't get nothing substantial, but flattery saying, hey, man, had you been elected, you know what I'm saying? We wouldn't be at war. All right. Hey, to be honest. And then what does he do? He got nothing. He's like, after the summit, he's rubbing his hands because he's trying to dig in his pockets to feel what he can pull out that's substantial that he can chat about. He got nothing. He gives Fox News the exclusive right after the summit. So Fox News was the only platform that his boy Hannity, the only platform, sit down, he gave it to him. And what is his marble? What is his boulder that he got out of all this? What does he say on Fox News? Hey, Putin said, had I been elected back in 2020, there wouldn't have been a world. What are you talking about? Why are you even bringing that 5 years ago? That's important today. So if that's the most you got out of this, you're kidding me here. You kid, and it's a laughing stock because you do not bring a leader across the globe on a big issue like this without having no clue that they're going to agree or disagree. If you're going to disagree, don't come. We don't need that. What is that doing? It does nothing. Okay. So, and nobody will call him out on this. His supporters, at least he tried. And I'll give him, okay, you tried. Okay, I get it. But what type of, look, in the military, one of the things you do is you do recon. Okay, so before you take a hill or before we're going to attack, we're sending our spies. We're looking at the terrain. We're seeing how many soldiers they got, how many this and that, how many before you even do it. Before you do it, and if the situation is not ideal, then you call off the attack. All right, because we ain't got enough people, we ain't got this, we need that. You don't do it, right? That's just basic 101. So how do you bring over the president of Russia and have no clue what the dude is gonna say? And then he comes over. Somebody was telling me this the other day, had me dying laughing. They were like, he did like, you know, Godfather 2, when Michael was in Vegas and he was talking to the senator, and the senator was, you know, the crooked senator, and was like, don't you ever, you know, connect with me again. You go through Turnbull, right? Because he said, I want 200K. He said, I'm here to squeeze you. I want 200K, blah, 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 right? And so don't connect me again. You tell Turnbull. And then Michael said, Senator, you can have my answer now. All right. And the senator started buttoning his head. Okay, yeah, what is it? And Michael says, my answer is nothing. Nothing. Okay. And I'll appreciate if you put up the gaming fee. All right. So that's like Putin came. They was like, hey, Trump is going off. B-52 bombers flying over. Red carpet rolled out. He gets into the beast. He's like, look at the footage. He's smiling like a kid who just got to go to Disney World, right? He's got everything he wants. They get to the table and they say, okay, we want to ceasefire. And he said, I can give you my answer right now. Nothing. All right. And by the way, I want you guys to fill up my jet for free, so I can go back to Russia. Okay, buddy. It makes it. You brought a dude all the way out there for that. That could have been done in an email. Look, when President was it Jimmy Carter? When was it Egypt and Israel? I think it was Egypt and Israel, where he brought those two countries together. They did a peace deal. Okay. And the famous picture is Carter in the middle. I think it was it Menachem Begin? And who was the president of Egypt at that time? This famous dude. I can't remember his name. And then Carter brings their hands together and they all shake. They got this peace deal, right? So my point is, before you even go there, you know that everybody's on the same page. You don't get out there. President Carter didn't get out there and say, you guys good? I ain't doing this. That makes no sense. So that's the part that it makes no sense to me. And there's not buddy, the I's and the T's, there's no details to this stuff. Okay. And at the end of the day, the same game plan that Putin or anybody can use. You flatter this dude. That's all Trump got out of this was flattery. Okay. And that's the only substance that he's got after flying the president of Russia all the way here to try to negotiate a ceasefire that he said, let's be fair too. And I'm gonna let you jump in. He said, if I don't get this ceasefire, we're gonna put sanctions, harder sanctions, blah, 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 blah. Didn't get the ceasefire, and where are the sanctions?
But let me ask you this. Do you believe that if Putin had told them ahead of time, let's just say Putin lied, okay? For the sake of this conversation, Putin told them, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and then punked them on the back end and was like, you know what? Yeah, I said that, but on the ride over here, I changed my mind. Would they be forward enough or candid enough to say we had things in place? Would they throw that out there for the people to understand, hey, we had this, but then he, went left on us, and now we have to figure out something. But they didn't say that. They made it seem as if everything was everything, and, whatever the case would be. And let me tell you the danger in this situation, like the real danger. You are a high-ranking official in the family. And so the family has a problem. And in this analogy, the family is the world, okay? They have a problem. Well, other people have intention on intervening and alleviating the problem, but they hear Tony is going to be meeting with one of the problem solvers, and Tony is saying, I'm good. They're going to dial back. They're going to change their course of action. They're going to limit their interaction with it because they've been told the United States and Trump have given us the assurance that he's going to figure this out. So if I was going to be sending aid to Ukraine or whatever the case may be, I'm going to hold back on that until. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to stay on pace or on schedule to do certain things because I don't want to overextend. If the United States is going to be the beacon of the world and the world leader and fix this thing, that is very dangerous because that it was a stall tactic, is what I'm getting at.
Buddy, he's trying to run out the clock. He's trying to run out the clock. And here's the other thing, though, too. To that point, what does he do on Monday? He bombs the hell out of Ukraine. All right. He bombed, I think, what was it? The most drone bombs that they had done. And think about that. Right. It's a stall because he knows that without the United States, he can take over Ukraine. All right. So he's just playing the clock, buddy. And he got a free ride, a free Happy Meal. Okay, right. And came back and still bombed them. All right, still bombed them.
Worse than ever.
Still worse than ever. Still bombed them. Okay, so what does that tell you, man? I mean, and that right there, man, is that's an embarrassment. That's an embarrassment. Okay, now you can try to spin it all. I mean, and I'm not you. I'm just saying they can try to spin it all the way they want to spin it. But let me answer your question though too. This is what I think. If Putin said hey, I'm willing to do this, and he changed his mind, they would throw that out. They would have been said that because they would at least say, hey, this is why we did what we did because he had in good faith. They would have definitely said that, right? They didn't have that. No.
There's a fear not to be his friend.
No.
As petty as Trump is.
But here's the thing, though. Everybody knows the dude is a liar. Everybody knows any deal. That's why Ukraine wants, defense guarantees, security guarantees, right? Because you can write this dude will invade them tomorrow. Okay, so they know that. So they would that's an easy thing to say. And then people would be like, okay, at least you thought you had a deal. And then he was supposed to come and sign the deal. And then he changed his mind. That ain't your fault. Buddy, they would have been able to eat that up all day long. Okay, to be fair. They didn't even have that. So this is my point here. They didn't vet it. It wasn't vetted. How you going to let somebody come on your turf? Think about it. They didn't meet in Denmark where, we both burning up gas and we both coming and we're going to try to hammer something out. And if it don't hammer it out, okay, fine. But we bring him here. Okay, he come here and we throw everything out there, right? Everything, right? And we're expecting, and the dude just looks at you and doesn't give you nothing, and he gets everything he wants and then flies off. Okay, and then you're sitting back trying to spin some stuff to the media and the country. It makes no sense, man. And it's just not the way you do business.
Well, the president.
And hold on, and he's a businessman. He's supposed. See, here's the thing, bro. He's so think about that for a second. Think about it. Well, look. But this is my point. Why would you? That makes no sense. So in other words, I want somebody to buy this casino. Okay, and we think we got a deal. I mean, and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to fly you all the way out here, all right, without having no inkling that you interested in buying and selling the casino or whatever. That makes no sense. You would figure that out before you even did that. You'll be like, that's a waste of my money. That's a waste of my time. I don't get what we got here to sit and talk about. Okay, either you in or you out. All right, and so come on, man. That's just common sense here. You're not gonna now. If you're doing this with your neighbor, you may say, hey, Joe, come over. And then you might try to see if you can change his mind or give him some facts for him to make a decision. Okay, that's fair. All right. But a government buddy, I'm sorry. It don't work that way. All right. It does. And if it did, go ahead.
As a businessman, Trump is the foremost bankruptcy expert and has been convicted and proven to be fraudulent in business practices. So from a business perspective, I don't even want to give him the term businessman because that's disrespect for the real businessman. But what I'll say is this: the Ukraine president and the people of Ukraine has said on numerous occasions, stop talking about me without me. Stop talking on my back. I don't need you to speak for me without me being there. Stop doing that and saying you're doing this for me. Like, you can't make decisions. You're not the president of us as well.
Right.
And unfortunately, he could care less about what they say. You can't keep doing that, man.
And to your point, that's an excellent point, right? So you're supposed to be negotiating on behalf of somebody else.
Well, a whole other country. America first.
Okay.
America first. But
hold on. Not only that, you're supposed to be, buddy, Chris, I got you, man. You ain't got to come. I got you. I got your back, right? And you sit back and say, okay, Tone's got this. He's going to make it happen. And then next thing you know, all of a sudden, I'm negotiating your behalf, and my man looks at me and says, "You want my answer now? It's nothing." All right, and then you looking at me like, "Tone, why? I thought you said you had this."
And I get bombed on Monday.
And then you get bombed on Monday.
All of that you did, yes,
buddy, and you get bombed on Monday. So you looking at me sideways, right? All right,
almost
my
like
whole
you had something to do with
buddy,
it.
my
I'm
whole,
suspicious.
your whole, thank you. You were like, this is a double cross, right? You were like, my whole country sitting on their hands and knees. Talking about Tone got us. He gonna make it work for us. And then later that night, their air raid sound.
What had happened? What happened? I'm calling you like that phone is ringing. The red phone is ringing off the hook. What had happened, Joe?
It's so funny. Oh man.
That's the sad part, man. That's tough. That's tough on them people.
Buddy, it's tough. Hold on one second, because somebody just texted me. Hold on. Somebody just said, "You guys, I love what you guys are saying."
Okay.
But that makes no shit. That makes no sense right now, bro. Think about it. That is an excellent point. You negotiate on somebody else's behalf, you don't get nowhere, and then they bomb you.
You literally hustling in reverse.
Buddy, and they bomb you. They bomb you. They bomb you. Okay. And so it reminds me, you ever see Hollywood Shuffle?
Yes.
Okay, you probably don't remember this scene, but it was Robert Townsend. He's playing this detective, right? And he's going around this gang, and he says, "Man," he said, he asked the gang members, he said, Cookie Head Jenkins?" And one of the gang members says, "Is he a friend of yours?" And he said, "Yeah, you can call me a friend." My man said, "Smack." Socked him dead. He's like, "Is he a friend of yours?" He's like, "Yeah, you can call me a friend." Smack. All right. So there you go here, right? This dude's supposed to be negotiating for you, and he does nothing, and then you get socked. You see what I'm saying? You get socked. So I'm just telling you, bro, it just drove me crazy to see. And more importantly, I don't, and then now they're trying to spin it. Okay. And now they want to do a trilateral meeting and get them together. All Putin, look, man, if you wanted peace, if he really wanted peace, he would have came to the game and said, "Hey, I'm willing to do, let's get this together." He may ask for everything, but yeah, let's stop. I want to get, this dude don't want no peace, man. And he's holding all the cards. Okay. So he has all the leverage. And see, that's the other thing here, because Trump is not holding to his word about how he was going to hold him accountable for not doing the ceasefire. And then Putin says, "I want to do a ceasefire. Let's do a bigger peace agreement," which takes a long time, right? Get everybody together, this and that, and then you still attacking. See, think about it for a second, man. If you wanted peace, you would be like, "Hey, all right, let's sit down. Let's try to work something out. We'll give a week. We'll do a ceasefire for a week and see if we can hammer something out." Okay. Mm-hmm. So you'll be down for that. But then for you to just automatically try to play it out and then bomb them hard the next day, a few days later, what does that tell you? This dude don't want peace. Okay. He wants to conquer them. Okay.
Absolutely.
That's just the bottom line.
What the Ukrainians have said is, if everyone was to lay down their weapons, let's just say we decided we were unilaterally going to stop this, the Russian soldiers go home. If they give up, they go home. If we give up, we don't have a home. They have nothing. Okay. We can't. Buddy, we done come too far. They've already taken 20% of their land. Okay. And so which they occupy. Okay. To be fair. And so, and they're running out of weapons, and he knows that. So buddy, think about it for a second. Why would somebody, and this is where without the United States or the European, the NATO stepping in, it ain't gonna happen. Because think about it for a second. In his mind, let's be Putin. In his mind, he's like,
Why would I stop now? Right? I can have it all anyway. If I just keep doing what I'm doing and keep them at bay, keep them at bay. Okay? Just play a game, keep them at bay. They're going to surrender at some point anyway. It'll be all mine. Why would I stop? Why would I? I'm betting against myself, right? Why would, it's just the bottom line. So he ain't when somebody's looking to take your stuff, why would they stop when they know in just a matter of time, I'm going to have it all? So why would I negotiate and let you off the hook when I know just a matter of time, you're going to surrender because you ain't going to have nothing to fight back for? So that's the issue. And they should know. So now he's got all the leverage. So unless the United States and NATO, what is Putin going to get for him to say, okay, I want to do peace? What is he going to get?
Because based on the current administration's policy, we can't pay him on behalf of Ukraine to go away because we ain't got it. We're not supposed to even be able. This concept of us digging our hands in and putting our nose in to other people's business and it costing us. We talk about, this is the whole thing about the tariffs. We paying this and we getting fleeced by this and fleeced by that. Well, this type of stuff is fleecing us. This type of nosiness is fleecing us just in another realm of finance. And once again, this was just a grand photo op for him to be able to go to his hero, get a picture of him shaking his hand, a recent picture of them shaking hands. If he could have had him at Mar-a-Lago, he would have spent the night, could have had a slumber party.
But I think though the motivation is for him to win be nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize, right?
All right.
I'm just telling you what I think, right? So let me go through the motions. Because buddy, what does this dude gonna give up for him to? He feels that he's going to conquer them, right? Think about why. What was that? What was my man? Who used to be the UK? Not Chamberlain. Who was it? Winston Churchill. Okay. Yeah. And he said, what did he say? And I'm probably not going to say it right, but he said something like, it was something like, once the tiger has you in the mouth, he's not giving that up. All right. You're in the tiger's mouth. What was that? I'm gonna look it up real fast. What was that thing that he said? And it's so true though, man. And so at the end of the day, Putin, here it is right here. He famously said, you cannot negotiate with a tiger while your head is in his mouth. You see what I'm saying? That's just the bottom line. That's the bottom line. The dude, so what is he getting? What is he going to give? He about to swallow you. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know, bro. I just thought, like I said, I want to be fair. Look, I give you kudos for trying to do. If this would have, let's play. Let's say if he did get a ceasefire, what would you think about Trump then?
I don't know. So here's the problem.
No. But to be fair, if let's say it did go, if it did go that way, what would you think?
I was duped by the previous fucking ceasefire, Tony. We had a ceasefire and then he bombed. Iran. Like it was what is we talking about? Like these don't work with him. So okay, but let's just say in a magical world, this one did work. I would think that because of his reputation, there's something nefarious on the back end, and I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop. If you're an American citizen, go ahead.
No. What I'm saying is, if Putin, and I get it, there could have been more hostilities. But if Putin would have said, hey, okay, I agree to a ceasefire, and they both agreed. Now, we know next week something definitely could have happened different. We get all that, right? But if he would have gotten that, at least at that summit, right, and agreed, what would you say then?
Oh, that it was a success, that it was professional, it was presidential, and it was exactly how things are supposed to work. I'm not giving you credit for not pissing on yourself, Tony. Like, this is what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to not piss on yourself. You're the president of the United States. This is in the job description. This is not an extra credit type rah-rah. You listen, bro. If you can't be proud enough to be the leader of the free world and be elected by majority And that's not good. You are so focused on the Nobel Prize. You focus on dog. Be good with what you got. You just can't. He's insatiable for attention. He's an attention whore. And when you're an attention whore, you lifting up your dress. You doing everything for attention, and you shouldn't have to do that. They've said you won the pageant. What are you doing flashing to people? You won the pageant. He wants negative attention. He's a child that believes that attention is attention is attention. There's no such thing as bad publicity, as you can see by the track record of his antics. The whether it be the tax evasion, the felonies, he likes to be in the news cycle. And unfortunately, there's a diminishing return when you have someone with the stakes being that high wanting for attention to be the paramount reason why they do things, not for function, not for results, not for the greater good of the Commonwealth, but attention. I'm going to make this a martial law city in DC for attention. I'm going to put people in California because I can, not because it's right, not because it's required, not because it's asked for, just because I can. I just do what the hell I want to do. Dog, that's gotta, it's horrible. It's expensive. It's expensive for somebody that ran on the budget and ran on the economy. This is frivolous dollars being spent, giving Putin green M&Ms and filling up his plane. That costs money, right? Like he had a rider. You know what I'm saying? That stuff costs money, but we're not talking about that when we had these conversations about. We're talking about cutting jobs that are required. We're talking about cutting programs like Social Security. We're talking about cutting, Medicare. We focusing on the wrong money. Like this money matters as well. And sending money to other places, I understand if we're defending democracy as a construct, but we're losing democracy internally. And that's oxymoronic to try to defend democracy globally while we're being charged with losing our grasp on democracy here. He's being charged as a fascist, a dictator, a totalitarian leader. All of a sudden, we got to sweep our own porch. And I don't want to sound like an America First person, but damn, this is outrageous what we're doing here. And I'll say this just to kind of encapsulate what I was thinking. It's dangerous to have people who look up to this country and believe in us and depend on us, and then we play these games and fail the Ukrainian citizens and fail the citizens in Gaza. We're failing people left and right and just going, these are a half-ass attempt is not an attempt. So I get you giving him credit, but it was a half-ass attempt at best. So he's only going to get partial credit.
Yeah, I hear you, buddy. That's fair. That's fair. Well, look, buddy, let's end it right there because we can be all night talking about my man and stuff. But we'll dive into what's going on next week in terms of some stuff. I only can talk about this dude for so long, right before I get a bad taste of my. It's always going to be something. It's always going to be something, man. It's always going to be something. So listen, we appreciate you guys checking us out today. Don't forget to check out the next Need to Know with Dr. Nasinga Burton, where Dr. Burton dives into the most timely and crucial topics that you need to stay aware of. She brings it every Thursday here on the Black Executive Perspective podcast. So don't forget to check out this Thursday, Need to Know with Dr. Nasinga Burton.
Be on the lookout for Pull Up, Speak Up. This is a roundtable discussion where various intellects and opinions are passionately discussed on this platform. And we love the hard-hitting topics where every voice counts and every perspective sparks change. You just want to tune in and check out the previous episodes and look forward to the next episode of Pull Up, Speak Up.
Absolutely. And look, if this is your first time checking out the Black Executive Perspective podcast, this is a time where we have a mission, we have a goal, and our goal is to eliminate all forms of discrimination. And the way we are asking everyone to do that is by our acronym called LESS, LESS. Chris, kick it off with L, buddy.
So L is for learn. Educate yourself on racial, cultural, societal, global nuances. So you're plugged in so that way your opinion is facilitated by facts, not just simple things that you're hearing from sources that don't matter.
Absolutely. And then after you learn, you have the letter E, which stands for empathy. Now, since you've learned, now, since you've become more enlightened, now you should be more empathetic to your fellow colleagues and friends and human beings, because now you can put yourself in their shoes.
The first S is for share. Share your insight, enlighten others. And this platform is perfect for this when we go live, because you can come in and share your perspective via the comments, because we don't know it all. We know what we know, but we'd love to invite you to help enlighten us, help us learn, and help us empathize by sharing with us your side of it, your view of it. And that's the best way we can all get better collectively.
Absolutely. And then the final S is stop. You want to stop discrimination as it walks in your path. So if Aunt Jenny or Uncle Joe says something that's inappropriate at the Sunday dinner table, Friday dinner table, Thursday dinner table, when you guys go out to eat, you say, Aunt Jenny, Uncle Joe, we don't believe that. We don't say that. And you stop it right there. So if everyone can incorporate less, and this is something that's in everyone's control, if we can all incorporate less, LESS, we'll build a more fairer, a more understanding world. And guess what, guys? We won't have to complain, because we'll all see the change that we want to see, because less will become more.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode. Make sure you tune into future live episodes. Make sure you tune into a Black Executive Perspective podcast episodes that come out weekly. We want to make sure that you hit that notification button so you can be notified when this is coming up, and look forward to it. But go to the website, sign up for the newsletter, leave us a review, and tell us things that you might want to hear about, things that you might want to be spotlighted on this platform and other platforms that we have. But make sure you subscribe. And where can they do this, Tony?
My friend, you can find the Black Executive Perspective podcast on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And you can follow us on our social channels of LinkedIn, X, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram at a Black Exec. For my fabulous co-hosts, my man down in Dallas, Chris B. Reed, I'm Tony Tidbit. We talked about it. We learned about it. We laughed about it today. We're going to keep striving and thriving about it. We love you. And guess what? We're out.
A Black Executive Perspective.